You're listening to another edition of the Full Court Press on 106.9 The Fan with Eric Frandsen and Ajay Salvesen. To get the latest content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't forget the Full Court Press airs Monday through Friday on 106.9 FM, 1390 AM The Fan, and you can stream the show on 106.9thefan.com.
We're talking about it. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM The Fan.
What's going on, everybody? It's Friday. You made it. The weekend is here. It's also Valentine's Day, or Single Awareness Day, or Galentine's Day, whatever, or just Friday. It's just Friday. But it is a Friday, and the weekend's here, so that's awesome. It's exciting. It's a busy weekend. Utah State is in action. The All-Star Game is this weekend. The final night of Region 11 boys basketball. Oh, there's the XFL this weekend. Let's not forget the XFL.
It actually got off to a rousing start in week one. So
I totally forgot about it until just that moment.
Okay, well, that's your fault, and that makes you a bad sports analyst. Okay, because you would remember that when a good product is coming up.
Is it a good product? I didn't really watch
week one. Week 1 was really good. Week 1 had, what was it, the stat that you gave? It had more viewers in week 1 than the AAF or whatever did.
More ticket sales.
More ticket sales, but that's even just as important.
Viewership on opening weekend was similar, but there were more tickets purchased for week 1 of the XFL than all of the season for the AAF.
It's a big deal, though. That's cool.
Okay. For week 1, it was. See if it's sustainable.
Yeah, that's the question, is can they keep it going? But based on the talent that is much better than the AAF, based on the fact that it's more relatable to the NFL, and there's a little bit of entertainment still squeezed in between. Yeah.
Well, I think the rules differences are radically, not I guess radically different, but they're different enough.
Yeah.
The AAF was this is just the NFL. This is just like the NFL, but
worse
athletes who can't make it in the NFL.
Yeah. This is where
the XFL is distinguishing itself, saying, "Yeah, we're still football."
Yeah, there's 22 Tim Tebows in the AAF playing in a game.
These athletes may not be able to make the NFL, an NFL roster, but we're going to try to make it interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
So I applaud them for that. Ajay, this is a lot to get through today here on the show. As I talked about, one of the other things that I want to hit on today. The fallout from the non-apology apology.
Oh, dude, it's getting bad.
Because all of baseball has been waiting to hear from the Houston Astros. Yesterday, we did, but didn't really hear from the Houston Astros.
We did, but we didn't hear what we should have heard.
Right, yes. And now other teams, other players are now reacting to that non-apology apology.
Hey, why
it's not pretty.
And I was going to ask you, maybe because I haven't seen any of this, but is Cody Bellinger is trending on Twitter. Is that part why?
Yep.
Oh, fetch. Because if there's one guy who's truly pissed off right now, upset, it's Cody Bellinger. I don't know what he said. I just saw he was trending on Twitter, and then there was like what is it? There's one that's Revenge Bellinger. I mean, there's all sorts of like Bellinger things trending on Twitter.
Here's a sample of some Cody Bellinger. We're going to play a lot more next hour.
Oh, no.
But here's a sample of Cody Bellinger and why he's trending on Twitter today.
I thought the apologies were whatever. I thought Jim Crane's was weak. I thought Manfred's punishment was weak, giving him immunity. These guys were cheating for 3 years.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Cody Bellinger.
Yes.
Doing it right.
That's how it should be. The rest of the MLB should feel the exact same way. And don't hold back. Look, they didn't hold back when they were cheating. And by the way, you Astro fans who are defending this apology and defending this team, shame on you. You're just as big of a problem as the Astros themselves are. The fact that you think it's okay. And
I think,
and I know that he had a 0.143 WAR average in the playoffs, and that in the World Series, I think he led the team in strikeouts in that series as well. He struggled mightily, And that doesn't have anything to do with the other side of stealing signs. But at the same time, you guys cheated to win the World Series, man.
I think the sense that I'm seeing from Astros fans, and I'll be honest, I'm not interacting with very many of them. But just to be transparent.
There's one who I interact with a lot.
But I think the sense that I'm seeing is frustration that, okay, look, our team won the World Series. We recognize that they did something wrong, but they're trying to hold on to the fact that, look, they still won away from Houston. And their cheating tactics weren't used away from Houston. So they're trying to say, look, yes, they did something wrong when they were at home, but our team still won when we were on the road.
So, Howie, can I ask a question?
When you have that much of a significant advantage at home,
why couldn't they do the same thing on the road?
They didn't have the technology. They were seeing it in the clubhouse, from what I understand.
Oh, really? Okay, so they didn't have that equipment. Like in their visiting clubhouse, they wouldn't have that same equipment then. Is that
from what I understand?
Okay. I was wondering why they couldn't. Well, why they weren't able to.
I could be wrong, but all the videos that I've seen that people are sharing, like here's an example of Houston, were all at their home ballpark.
Oh, but that's just not good.
Just if you're a Houston Astros fan, just put the shoe on the other foot.
Yeah.
I
have so many people.
If you ended up losing to the Dodgers, and all of a sudden you found this out, you'd be livid.
Well,
you'd be incensed.
When the New England Patriots cheated in 2007, dude, I heard about it nonstop from everybody. When they put up 56 points, they must be cheating again using cameras. When Tom Brady had that so-called deflated football, he must be throwing with it. Like I heard all the time, including from Houston Astro fans. So don't sit there and try to play this self-pity, poor us, everyone's against us because we did something and try to defend it because it doesn't work. Look, in 2007, did the Patriots cheat? Absolutely. They absolutely cheated in game one. Got caught, got punished, hardcore, stopped it. Then you have the deflated football, which, I mean, we're talking about in cold weather, in rain, and a ball that deflates 1.5 PSI, and then it turns into this whole big ordeal because the Patriots scored 28 points of their 45 in the second half after the ball was exchanged. And, I mean, but then people just threw it on Tom and on the Patriots. So, you know what? I'm going to dish it right on Houston now. If that's the way it's going to be, Houston, by the way, who did it in the championship, we've got a problem.
Do you think hitting will go down in Major League Baseball this year?
No, I don't.
Because the Astros are trying to play this card like, hey, this was going on. It's going on all over the league. We just did it at a different level, and we just got caught. And if it is rampant, how many teams come out and say, hey, look, we're not doing this. We don't want to fall under the same scrutiny as the Houston Astros. Because hitting has been up. Home run hitting has been up in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
Will that be blunted a little bit this year? Because all of a sudden the pitchers will have that advantage again?
It depends on I guess we'll find out how many teams cheated, huh? Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. And I'll say I don't know. But you got to like your chances, especially against the Astros.
They're still a well-built team.
Hey, well, here's the thing. But you know what?
But they're going to have to face scrutiny everywhere they go.
You brought
every
this point up, I think, the day after the scandal was released and it all kind of exploded in front of everybody's faces. You brought up a really good point. That, look, they are going to be punished. And whatever their punishment it will be what it is. But the punishment that will really be the ones that hit them is when they go to the ballpark on the road every single game. All 82 games, they're going to hear it from the fans. They're going to get thrown at by the pitchers. Jose Altuve will probably get beamed at least 3 times a week. He's going to get it. They're going to put it at him. And you know what? If the
Or they're going to buzz him.
And
they may not hit him, but they're going to buzz him.
They'll put one and do it. He might even get some chin music. They're not going to hit him in the head, but they're going to put one near his dang nose and let him know, hey, look, we know who you are, and we hate you. Because they are. They're the most villainous baseball team in America now. Nobody, not even the great Yankees of the mid-'90s who destroyed baseball year after year after year with their pure domination without cheating, would suffer this villainous of a route that the Astros are going to take. And with that, I can tell you that the umpires will at least allow it once. Look, you cheat the game, it's part of your punishment, man. Stand in the box, take a 97-mile-per-hour one right to the ribs. If you say anything, you'll be warned. Walk to your base, shut your mouth, and take it like a man. This is what you get, man.
You know what's happened here, and I think you bring up a good point, and I think the way to phrase this before we move on, I think that the Houston Astros were a disappointing team. People were disappointed with what they did. But what happened in the non-apology apology has caused us to now despise the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
We're no longer just disappointed with the Astros. Now we despise the Astros. And I think it's because of at the top. It's an owner that is tone deaf, that doesn't understand the own words that are coming out of his mouth about how it didn't affect play, and then deny that he said it. They never said that. I grant there have been some players that have said, "Hey, it was a mistake. I should have spoke up more. I should have stopped this more. We shouldn't have done this." There have been some players that have taken some ownership in this, but as an organization, it's been beyond disappointing. To now, they're going to be a despised organization. There was already a cloud of suspicion over the Houston Astros with Major League Baseball before all of this. Manfred, it was no secret that he and their organization did not see eye to eye on some things. So it's going to be a long 2020 baseball season for the Houston Astros and their fan base.
As it should be. And then you know what? When they do score 7 runs in a game,
they will be booed in every arena.
Well, even when they do score 7 runs with 5 home runs at home, there's going to be questions.
Everybody's going to look at everything.
Yeah.
Is
there a camera in there? How are you hitting these pitches? Pitchers might even go to the press and say, "I don't know how he hit that pitch. I don't know how he knew it was coming because it wasn't one of my routine pitches in a normal at bat with this guy."
Why did you touch your jersey that way?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Why did you clutch your jersey after you hit the walk-off home run and told people not to tear your jersey off?
You might hear a loud bang somewhere, like of a sound of a drum. Hold on. Is that a sign? I'm telling you, it's coming. If you're an Astro fan, it's coming, and it's well-deserved, and I can't wait. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. Hey, did you see that the NBA announced their Hall of Fame finalists?
They finally announced it? Official?
Yep. It is official. Well, the finalists are.
Okay. Oh, so this isn't who actually will go in.
No, this is just the finalists.
Okay.
They have announced that Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, who are the headliners of the class, and then along with him, Tamika Catchings, Baylor women's coach Kim Mulkey, 5-time Division II Coach of the Year Barbara Stevens, 4-time NCAA Coach of the Year Eddie Sutton, and former Houston Rockets coach Rudy Tomjanovich. All with them, ESPN's Michael Wilbon and Mike Breen have been elected into the Hall of Fame as recipients of the Kurt Gowdy Media Award. And then, of course, Jim Gray and TNT's Inside the NBA show will also be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Interesting.
How do you induct a show?
Yeah, how do you... What is that?
Would the producer and director please come up to the stand? I mean, who is that? By the way, is Ahmad Rashad not in the Hall of Fame for basketball, by the way? Because if Jim Gray's in it, freaking Ahmad Rashad should be in it.
He was a long time part of those broadcasts.
Yeah, do the Inside the NBA stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday mornings, those were awesome. So, obviously, Bryant's a gimme. In fact, it's already been announced that he's going to be in. Tim Duncan.
Oh, absolutely.
Kevin Garnett. In fact, Boston Celtics will be retiring his jersey this year.
Yeah, I did hear that.
This season.
Yep.
Does Rudy Tomjanovich make it? Back-to-back NBA titles with the Houston Rockets in 94, 95. It took Jordan leaving the Bulls to get there, but it happened.
It happened. He was a longtime coach, successful coach with Houston. He coached with the Lakers for a little while. That didn't really work out.
I forgot about that.
But he was certainly a former player in the NBA.
Yeah, that's right.
Most notably known for a sucker punch.
Yeah, that's right.
But, yeah, I would imagine he'd get in.
I think he gets in. I think those 4 get in. Because can you imagine the attendance in the crowd of Kobe Bryant, the late Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett alone, bringing in the attendance numbers that it will draw? I mean, it's going to be standing room only.
Well, and viewership's going to be off the charts.
Off the charts.
I feel bad for Tim Duncan. I feel bad for Kevin Garnett.
Too.
I feel bad for anybody else who will be enshrined.
Because
everything will be a far distant second to awarding a posthumous award to Kobe Bryant.
What?
And I'm totally okay with that.
Well, and you know what?
I feel
And to
bad
be
for
honest with you, Tim Duncan is too.
I think you're right.
Tim Duncan would be thrilled.
He's like, oh, great.
Go there, give my speech, get out of there. I don't have to do any media with you. We're done.
He's never been one to really put himself
Kevin
in front
Garnett
of the
will
camera.
get his. Kevin Garnett's one guy who's like, you know what? Kobe Bryant, yeah, great. I'm freaking in here. I'm going to get
tell
mine.
some stories.
So here's my question for you. The greater class, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, or 2009's class of John Stockton, David Robinson, Michael Jordan.
John Stockton, David Robinson, Michael Jordan.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Now, and so here's the thing: is remember when Michael Jordan got inducted, and then John Stockton became the announcement after? Everyone said, "Oh, John's gonna be thrilled, man. He doesn't have to talk at all. No one's gonna care because it's Michael Jordan, man. He's in. It's David Robinson, the Admiral." John Stockton went up there and gave a freaking 20-minute speech.
It was great.
Oh, it was great. It was really good. But it was 20 minutes. You're like, holy... And Jerry Sloan, who hates the attention, was thrilled more than anybody else that Michael Jordan was getting put in the same time. He gave them like a 22-minute speech, like an autobiography of his life. Up until the day he was very setting up on that stand. Like he gave from the day he was born. Do you remember he had like a 5-sheet paper and just read it word for word? It was incredible. And the crazy thing is I remember after... the media was talking to Greg Popovich, and someone, and I don't know who, had mentioned a little bit how like they kind of were falling asleep to Jerry Sloan's speech, and there was a little bit of chuckle around the media. I swear to life, I remember this clear as mud. Greg Popovich stares down the media and says, how do you say it? You guys don't give a rat's ass about the history of basketball, about the greatness of this game either, if you feel that way. That's what he said on the media, just lit them all up for criticizing Jerry Sloan of his speech. It was one of the coolest things ever. Greg will criticize anybody, but to him to recognize who Jerry Sloan was and what he had done, I thought that was pretty cool.
Now, the difference between those two classes is that this one going in this year, they'd have a lot more rings.
Yeah.
So it's a good debate. But that other class set new standards and new records. Some that still have not yet been beaten.
Been touched, yeah. Good point.
All right, coming up next here in the Full Court Press, Ajay's going to have to sneak out a little bit early today.
2 Fridays in a row, I'm leaving early.
Wow. So we're going to do something we didn't get a chance to do last week because we had way too much fun talking to former players and
that
coaches.
was cool.
So we're going to talk about our Friday 5 best, the 5 best guards ever to play for Utah State. We'll also get into our pick 6, the 6 things we think might happen this weekend. We didn't have a chance to do that yesterday because we got cut short with some college basketball. But we'll discuss that next, coming up on the Full Court Press.
The new home for the Full Court Press. Weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Eric Frandsen, Ajay Salvesen, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
Hey, how's Chocolate Man doing?
He's resting right now.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. He's getting ready for a big night.
We're excited for him. Ken the Chocolate Doll.
Is that what you've named him?
No. We're not going to disrespect Ken Doll like that. He deserves better.
All right, Ajay, you don't have a lot of time.
No.
Before you have to sneak away. big Valentine's plans or something?
Yeah, huge.
All right, so on Friday we do our Friday 5 best.
Yes.
We didn't get a chance to get to this last week, but in light of a significant mark that happened earlier this week, it's appropriate that we do it this week.
Amen.
Utah State's 5 best guards of all time. All right, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I'll start. By the way, I didn't know Wayne Estes was considered a big man for the longest time. I always thought he was a guard.
Yeah, he's forward.
It's awesome. That's just awesome what he did in his and
he did it in 3 seasons.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because back then freshmen couldn't play.
Imagine if he would have been able to, if his life would have been allowed to last longer. He set some major.
He was going to
records.
go to the Lakers.
Yeah, as a top 5 pick, by the way. That was no joke.
How much would that have changed the whole trajectory of Utah State basketball?
Yeah, an Aggie player playing for the Lakers. And they consider him to be one of the best that would ever been on that court, too. One of the best. Obviously, they didn't know what the future was going to hold, but yeah. All right, my fifth of the 5 best Aggie guards is going to go to Bernard Rock. You know, when I watched Bernard Rock play, he had an ability to get to the hoop, and his ability to drive, just at Mach 9, head on fire. He didn't have any hair, so his head. Was incredible. He was athletic. He was really athletic, and has some success actually as the guard of the Aggies. And so Bernard Rock is my number 5.
My number 5 is Reed Newey. Played for Utah State in the mid to late '80s. It still is it holds a lot of categories, statistical categories, where he's in the top 10. He's 6th in steals, 4th in 3-point field goals made, 5th in 3-point field goals attempted. But he's also pretty high in assists and scoring overall. So I've got Reed Newey. I thought he was I really don't have too many memories of him playing, but I do remember him being a significant part of the Aggies in those late 80s. Some of our longer tenured Aggie fans certainly remember his name and think highly of him. He's my number 5.
Good. Number 4 for me is going to be Roddy Anderson. Marcus Saxon has earned a lot of respect in his time as a guard. When he played at Utah State, for him to call out Roddy and say he's a beast is saying something. When I looked at Roddy Anderson, based on numbers, he wasn't the highest scorer on the team, but he led the team in steals. He led the team in one season in defensive rebounds, and he actually led the team in assists, I think his senior year. Not once did he lead the team in scoring, though. Everything else was done in secondary numbers. But, again, he was part of a successful basketball team, played against Illinois State in the NIT tournament. And, again, it was his defensive ability that made him really special.
Always impressive when a guard leads a team in defensive rebounds. My number 4 is Kendall Youngblood. It went from Reed Newey to Kendall Youngblood as guards for Utah State who had significant impacts when you look at the timeline. But Kendall Youngblood, tremendous player there in the late 80s and early 90s. He's in the top 10 in 10 different statistical categories for Utah State. Among the highest there is he's 4th overall in steals, 5th in assists. Just one of those guys that really helped his teammates around him and a defensive hawk against other guards. So Kendall Youngblood, he's number 4 on my list.
That would be a good choice. Actually, number 3 for me is Kendall Youngblood. The records that he held as a member of the Utah State Aggies, and I think, does he still hold a couple? Is that right? Because I know Sam's kind of got above him on a few of them now. So I think Sam might have, 3? I think he's passed him on 3 different categories, and I can't remember what they are. But yeah, no, Kendall Youngblood's my number 3 from 88 to 92. He started, one season, I guess 4 seasons? He started 4 seasons? I didn't notice this. 27 games in the first season. He started the rest of the way. But he averaged, shooting 41% from the field. He shot 41% from deep. Good heck, that's amazing. And shot 75% at the free throw line. It was more of his clutch gene back in the Big West. That's really why he puts me at my number 3. It was the clutch gene in the big-time games, especially in the tournament.
My number 3 is Tony Brown. Local product, helped Utah State climb a mountain that not too many others have been able to climb since, and that was getting Utah State their first NCAA win in a long time and forever, and nobody's been able to do it since then. But Tony Brown, besides just that alone, he was a great outside shooter, still one of the highest in Utah State history. He's second in three-point field goals attempted, second in free throw percentage, third in three-point field goals made. Ajay, he holds he's in the top 10 in 9 different statistical categories for Utah State. He was a tremendous player, had a great nose for the big moment, and wasn't afraid to take the big shot.
Yeah, that and the best part, Eric, he's a local product.
Yep.
That was the coolest thing about it all, man. That kid came from Mountain Crest High School.
Made it real easy for
John
folks
Nielsen.
to cheer for him.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Made it awesome. My number 2, Tony Brown. Tony, for me, is, look, he did something that none of these other Aggie guards have been able to do. Win an NCAA tournament game. And that game against Ohio State, he was phenomenal. I'm not just talking about the three-point shot. Or not 3 point, the floater that he had in the key where as Coach Morrill said on our interview, he pump faked 10 times like a Rec City guy. He was really big in that season. In a couple of games, I believe, with in the Big West. I can't remember. I think it was UC Santa Barbara and one more where they were down late, and he went on a scoring spree by himself, Eric, and took over those games. Tony Brown was a pure shooter, great athlete, and was a better defender during the latter parts of his career. But when he became a good defender, he was the best all-around player the Aggies had seen in quite some time.
My number 2. So now we're getting into the real strong debate territory.
Yes, we are.
My number 2 is Sam Merrill. Sam Merrill, and I labored over this one, but Sam is number 2 for me. He's the top 10 guard in 15 different statistical categories: points, assists, steals, three-point field goals made, attempted, free throw percentage. He's number 1 in free throw percentage right now. Games played, minutes played. The guy is a baller. He's an all-around player. He not only is he clutch, is he a great shooter, but he plays defense, and he really helps the team in so many different ways. In continuing this season, he either scores or assists on almost 50% of all points for Utah State. Sam Merrill, an incredible player. I hope everybody's enjoying watching greatness in front of him as it continues to play out in an Aggie uniform. He's my number 2.
My number 1 is Sam Merrill. J.C. Carroll was a great basketball player. Great. J.C. couldn't play defense. Sam Merrill can play defense better on both sides of the court than any of the guards that we have spoken about today. Sam Merrill, isn't a high-volume shooter like J.C. Carroll was. Sam realized that it created other opportunities for other guys, and that's what his goal was. Sometimes he's a little bit too unselfish. And it's interesting. The more teams make adjustments to Sam Merrill, the better he gets. The absolute better he gets, the more they make. They try all sorts of things. I don't know if there's a defense that Sam hasn't seen locked onto him. And he continues to score at a high volume. He's not going to catch J.C. Carroll. He's probably going to catch Greg Grant. And he's going to end up in second. But in just on the court, physical specimen, and by the way, Sam Merrill's played a tougher schedule than J.C. Carroll by a long ways. And he's still at this 2,000-point mark. And Sam didn't play near as many games as J.C. has. And he's still up there. I'll take Sam over J.C. Carroll in a one-on-one game, and I put my life on it. I think Sam is an absolute number 1 in my book.
Well, my number 1 is J.C. Carroll, and I'm shocked. You don't even have J.C. Carroll in your top 5.
Nope.
You are on drugs, Ajay Salvesen. J.C. Carroll is in the top 10 in 16 different statistical categories. He's number 1 in field goals made, field goals attempted, 3-point field goals made, 3-point field goals attempted, 10-point plus games, games started, total minutes played, points. This guy was a gamer. He could come up with points at the most clutch time when you needed them.
Could he, though?
Consistently led the team. It was a lights-out shooter from beyond the arc.
But
J.C. Carroll
Go ahead.
Was phenomenal for Utah State. Had a great career 2004-2005 season through the 07-08 season. It was a joy to watch him every game. He didn't need much space to get off a shot. This was a guy that you could always rely on when the game got tight. And if he wasn't having a bad night, he shot his way out of it and still produced for Utah State.
Here's the thing with J.C. Carroll. Again, you're right. Okay, the numbers speak for itself how great he is. But he didn't have anybody else that was a high-volume shooter and a great scorer like him.
He had good scorers around him. He had good players on that team.
No, okay, which year? Which year?
Just about any of the years that he was there.
Okay, so in 05-06, he had Nate Harris.
Good player.
Great player. And then the rest of it is Cass Mathias, Chaz Spicer, David Pack, who actually was a decent player, Darrell Peterson, Chris Session, Chris Huber, Nate Bendall, Nick Hammer, Everett Morgan. No, don't.
Cass
don't.
Came in big with a lot of different games.
Oh, you're good. And then
but that just speaks to more of his greatness.
Stephen
Ajay.
Ducharme.
You mock the rest of
Chris
that roster,
Clark,
and that just speaks
O.J.
more volumes.
Harrison?
That just speaks more volumes to how good J.C. Carroll was.
Michael Earl?
You're just making my point.
Michael Earl. No, it's because nobody else could score like him. Nobody else could score.
Which made it that much more important for what he did.
No, because he was the only one who would shoot because no one else could shoot. He was the highest volume shooter on the team.
Thank you, Adam.
No, put your damn hands
Adam,
down.
the intern, knows knowledge.
Adam, the intern, needs to sit down and be quiet.
He understands what's right.
Listen, J.C. Carroll took the majority of, look, he scored a lot of points because he took a lot of shots. Whoopity daw. All right? That 07-08 team was a little bit better. Gary Wilkerson, Ty Wesley. But, I mean, look at the success that Sam Merrill's had versus better competition than J.C. Carroll.
Thank you, 5338. Ajay obviously has not seen enough Utah State basketball.
5338. Thanks for texting in, first of all. Greatly appreciate it. Good to hear from you. Here's my problem, though. I've seen a ton of Utah State basketball. Enough in my career to know that J.C. Carroll is not the number one player. At least out of guards. Out of guards, he's not there.
Look, as I said, I debated this one a lot. I went back and forth with Sam and JC. You make a great point that Sam has done this against much tougher competition.
In less games and in less minutes.
Than what JC had to go through. But
and by the way,
Sam has the potential to score 30 points a night. Sure, we saw that the other day. But JC could do that without breaking a sweat.
What are you talking?
I mean,
what?
Just JC was just a pure shooter. He was a gamer. Both of them are gamers. This is an impossible discussion.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Both of them are great players.
Yeah, okay,
but
true.
In the end, I just give a little more of a lean to JC because partially for what you've just said. He didn't have as many great weapons around him. He had great players with him. You're undervaluing a lot of the players that were played alongside J.C.
Yeah,
Carroll.
Walker Earl, or whatever his name is. I bet he was really good on Scout Squad. Look, I am just saying, with all due respect...
Are we going to say the same thing about Trevin Dorius? That played alongside Sam Merrill? Sam Merrill was so great because Trevin Dorius was or Roche Groupfam was on the bench? Does that make Sam Merrill better Because he never saw the court?
Sam Merrill.
No, it has nothing to do. They are not.
And the fact that, like,
they have
you
nothing
say
to do
breaking
with
a
each other.
sweat, it's because people didn't tag JC like they tagged Sam. Defenses never went after JC like they did Sam. Sam was a bigger
yes,
threat.
they did.
No, he did. No,
Absolutely, they did.
Dude, they did not.
They knew if they
And
could
by the
eliminate
way,
JC.
that meant that JC Carroll was sitting on top of the key shooting threes. He didn't have the guts to
They
go to the
never
rim.
left JC alone.
No, Sam was a better all-around scorer because Sam could go to the hoop and finish.
They were constantly.
JC would sit on the three-point line and take threes.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He was running all over the court, running through screens.
No, he wasn't. JC was never running
You
like
and I
Sam.
were not watching the same Aggie basketball, apparently, Ajay.
No, JC did
JC
not
worked
run
for
through
everything that he
screens.
got. Teams knew he was a pure scorer.
No,
they would throw everything they could
sent
at him.
Sam through death row just to touch the ball.
They're doing the.
all JC
I'm not
has to
saying
do-
that Sam and JC have not had to both work for what they've had.
Oh no, I'm
I'm not
agree with that.
diminishing
Yeah,
what Sam's
sure.
going through now, but you're neglecting what JC had to go through to get his points.
JC would stand on top of the three-point line, catch the ball, and take a three. Sam would have to go through a screen, get bumped, go through another screen, get pushed, get probably bitten at times, catch the ball, go to the hoop, draw a foul, and sometimes finish.
They're
JC Carroll would
interchangeable.
stand on top of the three and just catch it and shoot it.
Interchangeable. They both did that.
I never saw JC have to work hard to get to the ball.
We got to go find some old film.
I would love to see it. Hey, by the way, there's a place called, I know someone who has a ton of film from those years, and I'll have to grab it. I'll have to ask him if I can borrow a couple copies. We'll sit down with Reggie, we'll have a popcorn, and we'll watch this dang thing.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
We want you to weigh in. Who would you put in your top 5 Aggie guards?
And I've seen enough
and
basketball,
really,
5'3",
the
3'8".
debate really is about number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, the others are nice. I think you and I had different orders on some of these players. We had some crossover. But really it is who's number 1 and who's number 2.
Yeah.
JC Carroll or Sam Merrill.
And by the way,
And you can make great cases for
both. Overall, where do you put JC and Sam? Overall, in Aggie basketball lore, who's number 1 or who's number 2, or where does Sam in the top 5? Where do they stand?
That's hard because Sam's career's not over yet. So there could be work to be done that could
Sure.
put him to another level. Boy, that's a really good question.
Because it's Wayne. Look,
Because JC went up against some really tough teams and some bad draws in the NCAA tournament.
still got to beat them. Still got to win a ball game. It's still 5 players on the court. 5. You got you and 4 other guys. It's the same rules. Got to figure it out. But here's the crazy part, and I mean this with absolute reverence and absolute respect. I swear I do. Wayne Estes is not number 1 on my list.
And a player that means the most for Utah State basketball?
No, sorry. And in regards of greatest ever
Greatest ever
in Aggie
in
basketball,
Aggie basketball.
Wayne Estes would not be number 1. Was for an extremely long time. Not anymore.
Sam would be that guy? You think Sam replaces him?
Yeah, I do. I think Sam, I think JC.
Greg Grant would have been in that discussion.
And by the way, Ty Wesley would probably have to be in that
Spencer
discussion
Nelson?
somewhere. Spencer Nelson would have to be in that discussion somewhere. That'd be a whole different animal to have to chew up, man. That would be tough. Let's maybe avoid that one.
This has been a fun discussion. By the way, 5338 says, replace Ajay with Adam the intern.
You know what? 5338, quit texting. Our line's not working right now. We've had technical difficulties.
Speaking of Adam the intern, we got to shift gears because you got to get out the door to your...
Did he say replace me with Adam? Oh, fetch that. You think he wants some BYU homer? He thinks that freaking Jimmer Fredette's better than Wayne Estes.
You got some entertaining to do.
He thinks that Yoli Childs is better than JC Carroll. He thinks that Cosmo the mascot's better than
All right, it's pick
JC
6 time.
Carroll.
We got to do pick 6. We didn't get a chance to do it yesterday because we had
replace
a really
me.
important college basketball game to play instead. So,
Hey, that game went to overtime, man.
yeah, it was a good game. It was definitely worth listening to. Adam the intern.
Hi, guys.
He helps us out with our pick 6 for the week.
Hey, who's better? Tyler Haws. Oh, no. Who would you take? Be unbiased.
Okay, all right. Mm-hmm.
Jimmer Fredette or the prodigal golden boy, JC Carroll?
Jimmer.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'd take Cosmo over Jimmer too. In case you're wondering. The guy can dunk it from the 3-point line. Do you see how
Dude,
crazy
that was
was?
awesome.
Oh,
He
my
got
3-point
launched.
dunk.
Oh
Dude,
my
that was
gosh,
amazing.
that was amazing.
I'll give them credit for that.
You should.
That was amazing.
You-
Oh, my
Don't
God.
matter
Sorry.
Oh, it's a good time to be a fan.
what school you cheer for. That was pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
that was awesome.
Okay. Do you want to start with the pick six?
Let's
Yes,
Going on
we
that?
gotta do that.
Alrighty.
Yep.
So let's start with Sam Merrill assists. The line is set at 6.5 over under. Ajay, let's have you go first.
This is where we need music, smooth sound. Samuel was a 6.5 assists.
Yep.
Over under. I'm gonna go under.
Alrighty.
I too am going to go under.
Okay.
It'll be close.
Yeah, I think it'll be close.
Okay, moving along. We got Donovan Mitchell points in the All-Star game. The line is set at 8.5 over under.
Over.
Under.
Okay. And then the combined score for the NBA All-Star game, the line is set at 312.5 points. That's the combined score for the game. Over under.
Under.
Over.
Alrighty. Then we have, will Vince Carter be used somehow in the dunk contest? Yes or no?
No. Wait. Participating or just be in it?
Will Vince Carter be used somehow in the dunk contest?
Yes.
I also am going to say yes.
Okay.
20 years since his incredible performance.
Alrighty. Then we have Diogo Burrito points at Fresno State. The line is set at 9.5. Over, under.
Over.
I like this.
I like this one.
This is a lot better than the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire theme song or whatever.
That thing's sweet.
I don't like that. It's just kind of repetitive and dark. It's weird. I like this.
Yeah, you see the light there, huh? BYU people.
Let's get back. What
It's
was the
too
Diogo
dark.
Brito line?
Scary.
It was 9.5 at Fresno State.
Points scored?
Yeah, points.
I'm going to take the over.
Okay.
Too dark. The heck?
It just doesn't sound fun. This is fun. All right, moving on. We got points of the 3-point contest winner. So how many points?
That's a good one.
Yeah, the line is set at 26.5.
Oh, that's a good
Over,
line.
under.
That's a good line. 26.5? What are you taking?
Over.
Over.
No, you just can't copy just because.
I'm not.
You were just going to say whatever I said. No matter what came out of my mouth.
No, I was.
You were going to say the same
interested in
thing.
your opinion. I wanted to see what your. It's strategy. I had my answer already. I just wanted to see which way you were going to go.
Okay, here's a follow-up question. Do you think someone will dunk it in the 3-point contest? Like Cosmo? No, you don't think so?
No.
Oh, dang. All right, moving on. Sorry. BYU homer coming out. We got, this is the tiebreaker for if it's needed, All-Star game score. I want the closest score. So Team LeBron, Team Giannis, I want the score.
Like versus each other?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to say. Yeah, I say 165 to 150 Team LeBron. That puts me at 320 points, I believe.
Yeah, give or take.
I'm going to say Team LeBron will be 158 and Team Giannis will be 155.
Sweet.
There's a new format this year with how they're doing scoring. So
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think it'll change things a little bit.
That's right.
Hope so. Hope more people watch.
Defense may be a little more of a factor.
No.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Nice try, Rudy. Way to sneak in, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not happening. I just hope it's good. I really do.
Dude,
And
I just hope Rudy makes a 3-pointer. You know how crazy that'd be?
Dude, he's gonna get one.
Oh,
He's gonna,
yeah.
That's what. That
Oh,
should be an
yeah.
over under. How many threes does Rudy make? Oh
Or attempt.
man. Or even attempts.
You saw the
Yeah, I don't
Steven
think he'll
Adams
make
where he
one.
just hucks it out at
Oh,
3-point line,
dude,
just
from half
one-handed.
court.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
incredible.
Oh, yeah. This opens up
And
a
then
whole
like
new game.
Steven's like the most like subdued guy, and then he's like doing the shimmy or whatever.
Oh, my gosh. This opens up a
Okay,
whole
look,
new game.
I
in
hated
the NBA.
Oklahoma City back in the day, but I love Steven Adams. Just shuts up and plays. Just shuts up and plays. And like the time when like who is it? Crowder, I think, broke his nose,
Yeah.
and he didn't even flinch.
Yeah.
Like didn't even grab his nose.
He's the nicest tough guy in the NBA.
Oh yeah. heaven sent. I used to get him and that guy who had diabetes from Gonzaga. What was his
Kelly
name?
Olynyk?
No.
No.
Adams.
He's from-
What was his name? He had diabetes, and he didn't last long in the NBA either.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He had the long hair, sort of. He looked just like Steven Adams, though. I used to get him and Steven confused all the time.
All right, let's run through those real fast again, Adam.
Alrighty, so we have Sam Merrill assists. The line is set at 6.5. Both of you guys took the under. Next, we have Donovan Mitchell points at the All-Star game. The line is set at 8.5. Ajay took the over. Eric took the under. And then we got the combined score of the NBA All-Star game. The line was set at 312.5 points. Ajay took the over. Eric took the under. Then we have, will Vince Carter be used somehow in the dunk contest? Yes or no? And both of you guys took yes. And then we have Diego Burrito points at Fresno State. The line is set at 9.5. Both of you guys took the over. And then points of the three-point contest winner. The line was set at 26.5. And both of you guys took the over. And then for the tiebreaker, for if it's needed, we have Ajay saying the score will be, to the All-Star game, the score will be 165 to 150 with Team LeBron coming out on top. And then Eric said 158 to 155 with Team LeBron winning as well.
I just realized that adds up to more than your 312.
Yep, that's why I didn't say a word. I was like,
by
okay,
one.
that works.
By one.
That works.
But I am not going to ask Adam the intern to change it since I already said it.
Thanks, Eric.
Because I said it. I'll have to
'Cause you
stand
believe
by
it.
it, even
You have
though
faith in that answer.
I
That's
realize
great
it
for
was
you.
wrong.
You had faith in the answer.
I'm not
going to
pull a Houston Astros. All right, we're going to have to say goodbye to Ajay. You got to take off and do some fun things for the night.
I'll see you later tonight.
No, you won't. And we'll catch up on Monday. But Region 11, there's a lot of interesting games tonight.
All good stuff.
We got the All-Star break this weekend. We'll run through what's going on and maybe some things to watch for. Because as I said, there are some tweaks. There are some differences this weekend in not just the All-Star game itself, but there's also a tweak to the three-point shootout. So we'll run through that. And then the fallout continues with the Houston Astros non-apology apology and some players throughout the league with some strong words to say about it. We'll update you on all that ahead here on the Full Court Press.
The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Eric Frandsen with you on the Full Court Press. Man, that was probably one of the most hotly debated Friday 5 bests we've had in a long time. We've had a few where we've gotten into it, a lot that we agree with each other on, but that is a tough discussion. The best guard in Utah State history. It's hard to argue against either one of them, frankly. In the end, I think it's J.C. Carroll. Ajay thinks it's Sam Merrill. Love to get your thoughts. Who do you think? Who would be on your top 5, on your Friday 5 best? Who are the 5 best guards in Utah State history? Text in and let us know, 435-339-0321. That's 435-339-0321. Who are your 5 best guards in Utah State history? Coming up next hour, we'll get into how one of those guards needs to have a big game Saturday. Utah State's on the road at Fresno State. It was an overtime game against the Bulldogs earlier in the year, but really this is a very different team now than it was then. That was Neemias Queta's first game back from injury, so I think he'll play certainly an important role, a different role in the game on Saturday than he did earlier in the year. But we'll still take a look at that, who's on that Fresno State Bulldog team to watch out for. We'll hear from Craig Smith. He held his press conference earlier today to preview that matchup. We'll look at some of the changes in this weekend's All-Star Game festivities. Three-point shootout has a tweak. It's a little bit different. The All-Star Game has something different. Is it make it interesting enough to tune into, and will it be long-term success, or are they just gimmicks that or fly by night and won't really stick? And then we'll also look at the fallout that continues as players throughout Major League Baseball react to the non-apology apology from the Houston Astros. Some pretty strong words coming from a lot of different players. And how different will that make their season this year? Still a talented roster, then they're still projected by many to be a successful team and be in the hunt for a World Series. But will it really happen in all reality with all the heat that will be coming after them this season? We'll discuss more next hour here on the Full Court Press.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Houston Astros apology tour got off to a bumpy start in Florida yesterday. In fact, they may have made things worse. Owner Jim Crane contradicted himself all over the place. The team put Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman on the podium for 90 seconds. The players in the clubhouse were a lot better, but there's no easy way out. The Astros were caught in a big way. Their best strategy would have been to just admit it and move on. The players that tried that sounded good. The general rule in sports is that the cover-up is often worse than the crime. The team's indirect responses cause even more doubt. There's a lot of speculation that they did even more than we know, including wearing buzzers. Major League Baseball said it doesn't have any evidence of that, but nothing the team said yesterday really helps us trust them. The Astros hope this was the beginning of the end of this scandal. But after yesterday, it's pretty clear the drama's far from over. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.